Welcome to our exploration of one of the most complex and beloved characters in the Harry Potter series, Remus Lupin. A man marked by tragedy yet defined by his unwavering kindness, Remus embodied the struggle for acceptance in a world steeped in prejudice. In this character analysis, we'll delve into the defining moments of Remus's life, from childhood struggles to his brave stand during the Second Wizarding War. We'll examine the relationship that shaped him and the choices that defined his legacy. Join me as we uncover the heart and soul of Remus Lupin, a character whose journey reminds us of the power of compassion in the face of adversity. Please take a moment to subscribe and like this channel. Remus John Lupin was born to an extraordinary couple. His father, Lyall Lupin, was a gifted wizard known for his expertise in dealing with non-human spirits and magical creatures. His mother, Hope Howell, was a muggle who was somewhat unaware of the magical world until Lyall saved her from an encounter with a boggart. Their meeting in a dark Welsh forest sounds like something out of a fairy tale, but it set the stage for life far from magical for their son. They fell in love, married, and soon after Remus was born. The young couple had high hopes for their child, but they couldn't have predicted the devastating events that would soon change his life forever. As Remus Lupin turned 4, the wizarding world was on the brink of chaos. Dark magic surged, and the rise of Lord Voldemort's first reign of terror brought fear and uncertainty. Amid this turmoil, the Ministry of Magic sought experts on dark creatures, enlisting authorities like Lyall Lupin to understand the threat. It was during this dark time that Lyall would confront a horror that would change his family forever. Lyall's investigation led him to Fenrir Greyback, a notorious werewolf who was brought in for questioning about the deaths of 2 Muggle children. The werewolf registry was a poorly maintained system, and Greyback exploited that ignorance. While others dismissed Greyback's true nature, Lyall recognized the signs. He warned the committee to detain Greyback until the full moon, yet his concerns were met with ridicule. Angered by their mockery, Lyall made a grave mistake. He expressed his disdain for werewolves and called them soulless, evil, and deserving nothing but death. Those words would haunt him forever. Lyall's warnings went unheeded, and Greyback was released. Soon after, vengeance would come for Lyall and his family. Just before Remus's 5th birthday, Greyback struck. Under the cover of night, he broke into their homes intent on delivering a cruel fate. In a desperate bid, Lyall saved his son from a deadly fate, but not without a price. Remus was bitten, marking him as a werewolf for life. Lyall never forgave himself for his harsh words that day. He had echoed society's prejudice, unaware that they would come back to harm him and the ones he loved the most. Lyall kept the truth from Remus, fearing his son's wrath and the burden of knowledge that would come with it. In doing so, he hoped to shield Remus from the stigma attached to his new identity. This tragic turn of events shaped not only Remus's life, but the profound relationship that he would have with his parents. A love that was challenged by the fear and the consequences of societal prejudices. After the traumatic events of his early childhood, Remus Lupin's life became a delicate dance of secrecy and solitude. His parents, Lyall and Hope, were determined to protect him but faced overwhelming challenges. The family moved frequently, leaving behind towns where whispers of Remus's peculiar behavior began to circulate. As the new moon approached, his health visibly waned, and the mystery of monthly disappearances raised suspicion. Forbidden from playing with other children, Remus grew up in isolation, despite the love of his parents. His childhood was marked by loneliness, and he was confined within the walls of their home. As Remus aged, his wolfish side became harder to contain. What began as a locked room and silencing spells transformed into a battle of strength, with his parents growing more fearful and weary. Haunted by the fear of their community's reaction, They abandoned their hopes for their son's future, opting to educate him at home, convinced that he could never attend school. Then, just before Remus's 11th birthday, an unexpected visitor appeared, Albus Dumbledore, the headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Flustered, the Lupins attempted to deny him entry, but Dumbledore's charm quickly won them over. Dumbledore revealed that he knew, and he devised a plan of Remus's future. With discretion, he offered Remus a safe way to attend Hogwarts, ensuring his transformations would be managed away from prying eyes. For the first time, Remus glimpsed a brighter future, one that would be filled with friendships at Hogwarts. Remus arrived at Hogwarts and was sorted into Gryffindor. He quickly formed bonds with three remarkable boys, James Potter, Sirius Black, and Peter Pettigrew. Their friendship became a lifeline, providing him the acceptance that he had longed for. In my opinion, Remus, with his quiet humor and kindness, he was the heart of the group. He often acted as their moral compass, though not without fault. As curiosity grew, Remus, scared by his past, feared that the truth would drive them away. He crafted an elaborate lie to help cover his secret, in hopes that he could somehow maintain the fragile bond that he so much cherished. To his astonishment, when his friends finally uncovered the truth, they didn't abandon him. Instead, they devised a clever plan to help him through his monthly transformations, which earned him an affectionate nickname, Moony. Remus finished his school years not just as a student but as a prefect, standing strong with the support of his friends, a testament of the powers of friendship and acceptance in the face of adversity. Remus Lupin's journey from isolation to friendship highlights the profound impact that love and loyalty have and forever shape the man that he would become. As Remus Lupin and his friends left Hogwarts, the shadow of Lord Voldemort loomed larger than ever. They joined the Order of the Phoenix, a brave resistance against the rising darkness. However, the fight against Lord Voldemort came at a great cost. The loss of James and Lily Potter was a devastating blow for Remus, whose life had already been marked by isolation and struggle. For Remus, his friends were more than allies, they were his family. He had long accepted a future without companionship, fearing that he would always be seen as untouchable. Now he faced a profound loneliness, having lost three of his closest friends in the span of days. With the Order disbanded, the wizarding community celebrated Voldemort's downfall. But for Remus Lupin, it marked the start of a long, lonely journey. His mother was gone, and while his father welcomed him, Remus could not bear to disrupt his father's quiet life. Remus's life became a cycle of low-paying jobs, each one ending before anyone could discover his secret. His struggle for acceptance was compounded by the monthly realities of his condition. Then came a glimmer of hope, the discovery of the Wolfsbane potion. This complex brew promised to ease Remus's fear, allowing him to transform into a docile wolf rather than a danger to others. However, this potion came at a high cost, not only in ingredients, but he had to actually admit about his condition. Without the means or the courage to reveal his secret, Remus remained in the shadows. Despite a faint light of the Wolfsbane potion, Remus's existence remained one of solitude. He yearned for connection and acceptance, but was haunted by the fear of what he could become during those full moons. Remus's story of perseverance against adversity, a tale woven with loss, longing, and the quest for belonging. As he navigated the complexities of his identity, hope lingered and it was just out of reach. Once again, Dumbledore would change the course of Remus's life. In a cottage in Yorkshire, Remus was surprised to receive an unexpected visitor. Delighted to see the headmaster, Remus was astonished when Dumbledore offered him the position of Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher at Hogwarts, a dream job, but it would come with a crucial stipulation. With the assurance of access to the Wolfsbane potion, Remus accepted the role, stepping back into the world that once felt so far away. At Hogwarts, Remus blossomed as a teacher, showcasing a rare talent for imparting knowledge and deep empathy for his students. His kindness made a profound impact on many, particularly Neville Longbottom and Harry Potter. Yet, Remus struggled with an old flaw: his reluctance to confront the shadows of his past. Though he harbored suspicion about a known fugitive, Sirius Black, he kept his concerns to himself for the fear of rejection. His longing for acceptance clouded his judgment, which made him less brave and honest than he should have been. This internal struggle set the stage for catastrophic events. An unfortunate series of events culminated in a true werewolf's transformation on the school grounds. Unbeknownst to him, Severus Snape's deep-seated resentment would have dire consequences. Snape's actions led to Remus's secret being exposed, which resulted in shock and fear amongst staff and students. Facing a wave of prejudice and misunderstanding, Remus felt that he had no choice but to resign. With a heavy heart, he departed Hogwarts once more and left behind a place that had offered him a glimpse of belonging and purpose. Remus Lupin's return to Hogwarts was bittersweet. It was filled with hope, shadowed by a weight of his past. His journey continues, and it's a testament to the complexity of identity and the struggles of acceptance in a world that's often unkind. Remus Lupin had once again found himself caught between the shadows and the light, pulled back into the war that he thought was over. The Second Wizarding War raged on, and the werewolves, led by Greyback, had become a growing threat, and it was Remus, who was one of their own, who was forced to go underground and infiltrate the very creatures he feared becoming. His role in the Order was a secret. His connection to Harry Potter, the boy who carried his friend's legacy, and the only thread tying him to a past long lost, Harry was the chosen one. He was the world's hope, and Remus was determined to protect him, even if it meant becoming a wolf once again, walking the thin line between human and beast, all while trying to ensure that the darkness did not consume him. The war had stolen so much from Remus: his friends, his peace, his sense of belonging. But in Harry Potter, he saw not just a reflection of James, but the weight of their shared history, an unspoken bond that kept him fighting even when hope seemed distant. Although he had to move in secrecy, Remus' devotion never wavered. He was no longer the carefree marauder, but one of the last living connections to a generation lost. For Harry, for their fallen friends, Remus would stay in the shadows, guarding the past and fighting for the future, even if it meant risking his own humanity in the process. As Lord Voldemort regained power, the remnants of the Order of Phoenix reassembled. Among the new faces was a vibrant young Auror, Nymphadora of Tonks, who was a protege of Alistair Mad-Eye Moody. Remus Lupin, often weighed down by melancholy, found himself drawn to Tonks. Her cleverness, bravery, it all captivated him. It also awakened feelings he had long believed were impossible. Despite the chaos of war, Remus cherished the moments he spent with her, secretly hoping that they might become something more. Yet, a shadow of doubt lingered in his mind. One night, a casual comment from Tonks ignited Remus's insecurities. When she mentioned another Order member's looks, his jealousy flared, and he bitterly assumed she wasn't interested in him. Tonks confronted him. Her words cut through his self-pity. "You'd know perfectly well who I've fallen for. If you weren't too busy feeling sorry for yourself, you would notice." For a brief moment, joy filled Remus's heart, but it was swiftly eclipsed by his fear of unworthiness. He believed that marrying her would be a risk on passing on his condition. This led him to retreat back into silence. With each loss, including the last of his school friends, Remus sank further into despair, prompting him to undertake perilous assignments, including spying amongst the werewolves. His encounter with Greyback, the very werewolf who had altered his life forever, was fraught with danger, which tested his resolve and his sense of self. In the aftermath of the battle, Remus faced another profound loss: Albus Dumbledore. To Remus, Dumbledore embodied the kindness and acceptance he had sought for his entire life. Tonks found courage to publicly declare her love for Remus, forcing him to confront his feelings. His initial reluctance gave way to the undeniable truth of his heart. In a moment of quiet defiance against his fears, Remus married Tonks in a small ceremony. Despite the elation of their union, he remained haunted by the stigma surrounding his condition. Swinging between happiness and fear, Remus embraced a new life, but the shadows of doubt still lingered. Would the darkness of his past overshadow their future together? Lupin's love story with Tonks is a poignant reminder of the complexities of love and acceptance in the face of adversity, a tale woven with both heartache and hope. Just weeks after their wedding, Lupin faced a monumental turning point. Tonks was pregnant. With the news came a flood of fears, overwhelming doubt, and deep-seated insecurities. Haunted by the fears that he had passed on his condition to his unborn child, Remus envisioned a future of turmoil and hiding, much like his own. Consumed by remorse, he fled from Tonks, seeking solace in Harry Potter. Remus believed that joining Harry in his fight would somehow alleviate his guilt. To Lupin's shock, Harry rejected his offer, calling his actions selfish. Anger boiled over Remus, which led to an uncharacteristic outburst before he stormed out, retreating back to the leaky cauldron. But in solitary, clarity emerged. Remus reflected on Harry's parents, James and Lily, who had sacrificed everything for their son. His own parents had done the same, fighting to keep the family together. With shame washing over him, Lupin returned to Tonks, filled with newfound determination. He begged her for forgiveness, promising to stand by her despite what laid ahead. When their son, Edward Remus, affectionately called Teddy, was born, relief washed over the new parents. Teddy showed no signs of lycanthropy, and he only inherited his mother's unique gift for transformation. On the night of Teddy's birth, Remus was filled with gratitude and sought out Harry once more. It was time to mend bridges and to embrace the bond that had been strained. In a gesture of healing, Remus asked Harry to be Teddy's godfather, a symbol of forgiveness. Through parenthood, Remus Lupin found redemption and purpose, transforming his fears into fierce love for his family. In the face of darkness, he chose light, proving that even the most troubled souls can forge paths of hope and happiness. As the final battle against Voldemort loomed, Remus and Tonks made the harrowing decision to leave their infant son Teddy behind, in the care of his grandmother. They knew that the stakes were high. If Voldemort triumphed, their family would be in grave danger. Lupin and Tonks were both prominent members of the Order of the Phoenix. Tonks, marked by her Death Eater aunt Bellatrix Lestrange, and Remus, a werewolf, represented everything Voldemort despised. Their son, who was born of love but seen as a threat to pureblood supremacy, was a target of this war. Remus, who had survived countless encounters with Death Eaters, charged into battle once more, driven by duty and love. But the toll of months spent in hiding and using defensive spells had dulled his once sharp dueling skills. In a tragic turn, Lupin faced off against Anton Dolhoff, a ruthless Death Eater whose skills had only sharpened in the chaos of war. Remus was no longer in peak condition and was caught off guard, and unfortunately he died. Remus fell that day, a hero whose bravery and kindness would not be forgotten. Posthumously, he was awarded the Order of Merlin First Class, and he became the first werewolf to receive this honor, breaking barriers and challenging prejudices.
Remus Lupin's life and death served as a powerful testament to the potential for change, lifting the stigma surrounding werewolves. Remus was not merely defined by his condition, he was a loving husband, a dedicated father, and a fierce, loyal friend. Though Remus Lupin's life was cut short, his legacy lives on. He inspired many through his compassion and courage, proving that even in the darkest of times, love and bravery can shine brightly. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the life of Remus Lupin, a testament to the enduring power of kindness.